Hi everyone, Kenji here, your sculptor, and welcome back to Life of Clay for another sculpting video. And today, I'll be making a fantasy creature from the movie Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, called the Glow Bug. This is really going to be exciting, guys. And before we begin, please consider subscribing if you haven't subscribed yet, and don't forget to turn on the bell icon to get notification whenever I upload a new video. Okay, so come bring the clay on and let this bug's light shine upon us. And I start by drawing a quick sketch of the glow bug where I'm going to infuse some of my personal ideas into it. This is actually my second sketch and I had to change the first one because of some mistakes I made along the way. Next, let's build its temporary armature, using this piece of wood as handle and fixing this aluminum wire into it using glue, and it's gonna look like an ice pick. Then I apply 2 parts epoxy on the wire and cover it with aluminum foil, bulking it up and form its base a little bulbous. Then I wrap cling film around it to give it a smooth surface, and this will also help to release the sculpture later on. And once the epoxy is cured, I bend it into a twirling position. And I just give it an insertion test in this light bulb shaped glass jar, so I can do some adjustment to its form if necessary. I'm gonna use Sculpey Premo Translucent for this project for now, since I don't have the Clay Translucent Glow yet. Sculpey Premo Translucent known for its crumbly texture when conditioning, so what I did to make it malleable is I add some drops of Clay Softening Agent, and it really does work well. One of the best of Clay's polymer agent that all clayers must have. Then I just add few grams of this Luminous powder into it, and this one produces green bioluminescent like glow. Then just knead it continuously to incorporate the powder evenly. And now let's give it a glow test by bombarding it with light. And now let's turn all the lights off. Wow, I love that glow! Alright, our clay is done. Let us now start sculpting the bug. Let's just cover it with a thin strip of clay, close the seam, and shape it out. Glow bugs have made their occasional appearances in the books of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, like in the original screenplay and in the art of the film where they refers to these as glowworms. And they also appeared in the movie Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which many of these were kept in light bulbs by Newt Scamander in 1926. Some were kept in his suitcase and used for lighting. And they are also present in the Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery video game. Oh my, did I just say it in British accent? These glow bugs possess a light organ referred to as blinker, which they could use to produce repeated bright light flashes randomly or sometimes in specific patterns. And they were intelligent enough to use these flashes to communicate information to humans as well, ceasing their flashing if a human managed to figure out the message they were attempting to convey. Then I am now adding a line markings on its side as guide for its body segments to be added later. Then I attach this round piece of clay for its head and shaping it out. Then I just give it a tiny mouth. Then I just gently poke the sides of its face using a dotting tool and add these pre-baked translucent red polymer balls for its eyes. And adding some texture on its face. Then I just add 2 small pieces of clay on its forehead and poke them deeply. This will be its antennae bases. Then let us now add the rest of its body segments and shaping them out. And then I cut small pieces of clay for its legs trocanters and for the bases of its body's filament. Then I just add 3 pierced pieces on its chest part, shaping them out, and I just add slightly large and deep poke holes on them using an explorer tool. And adding the 9 pairs of its body's filament bases, then shape them out. Then I just add poke holes on them using this small sewing needle. And we can now lay him over my sand bedding and put it in the oven to cure. Moving on, let us now sculpt its legs and antennae. Just cover this 0.4mm stainless steel wire that I slightly curved with a thin noodle of clay. Shaping it out into a slender pointy leg, and then I just add segments on it. Next is sculpting its antennae using a very small piece of clay. Shape it out and I just add narrow segments on it. And let's add color on their tip using this burnt Sienna Pastel powder that I add little water for smooth application. Brushing their tip, creating gradient as I drag the brush down to the middle part of each leg and antennae. And now that they are done, we can now cure them in the oven. Meanwhile, let's move on and make its lighting parts. What I did here is I just modified the LED part of this hairpin so it can fit into the inner rim of our glass jar. And the modification process will consume more time, so I decided to skip that out, and let's just dive straight into soldering these warm white LED lights onto these very thin wires, which I will be attaching 5 of them. I'm trying to be an electrical technician at some point, and I'm becoming one if the situation really requires me to do so, and also when there were no available stuff to be found elsewhere. And it will be powered by a pair of coin batteries, by the way, so there will be no exposed wires outside the jar. And there it is, the lighting parts is now ready. Let us now remove the sculpture out of its armature. First, I drill all the poke holes on its filament bases. Then I start making incision along its sides where front and back segments met. This way the cut will not become obvious when we put the pieces back together later on. I'm trying to be very careful so not to cut myself with this procedure, making it slowly but surely. Same goes to you guys, please be very careful when using a cutter, it really does no joke. And it may cause you serious injuries that sometimes will definitely disable us to work, either temporarily or worse, permanently. And we can now pry it out using this spoon tool. And thankfully our clay is flexible and durable and can actually withstand hefty prying and pulling. And I just now pulling out some of the excess cling wrap inside of it to clear out its cavity, and let us now proceed in installing its lights. I just insert it through the hole above its nape and glue the plastic piece to secure it in place. And we can now put back its front side, gluing it starting from its head section downward. I also fill it up with some synthetic wool to slightly diffuse the lights and to fill the space inside. And we can now assemble it, but first let's pull the wires out of the legs and antennae to keep every part of the glow bug translucent. Then I just add glue into the holes and attach each limb. And for its filaments, I use these fiber optics from the hairpin I showed you a while ago and just slightly burn their tip to form a small nodule on them and then cut them into short pieces, dipping their ends in glue and planting them on their bases. And I made these pairs of filaments on its tail a little bit longer based on our sketch. Then I just brush some of its recesses with wash of burnt sienna to highlight its details. And finally, seal it with gloss varnish that I mixed in with greenish gold shimmer powder. And there it is, the way the shimmer varnish harmoniously complements the yellowy color of the clay along with the reddish parts is really nice. And let us now insert our glow bug inside the bulb-shaped glass jar. And yes, inserting it is quite challenging actually. So I should be very gentle in doing it because the jar's mouth is quite narrow and not to mention its limbs are so delicate that I must be very careful not to break them. Oh yes, finally. Thankfully, after that cold sweating procedure, our glow bug is now resting inside. I am now applying glue on the top rim to keep our bug in place permanently. I designed the switch and battery casing on top, so turning it on and off and replacing the batteries will be easy. And there it is, our glow bag is finally done. I hope you like it, and if you do, please give this video a thumbs up and I wanna know your thoughts also about it, so leave your comments and I'll be glad to check them out. Kindly share this video also with your friends, maybe they're gonna find it interesting too. I'll be making more sculpture of fantasy creature in the future, so stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell icon so you won't miss out any of our exciting future videos. You can also follow me in my other social media accounts and their links are listed in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching and I really appreciate your support guys. That makes this channel of ours continuously growing. See you again next time. Have a wonderful day and evening everyone. Bye!